All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. We're back on the air. It is 9:30 p.m. on the east, 6:30 p.m. on the west, and we got the dynamic duo straight out of the west coast. We got Savage Life right here live on the line. How are you guys doing this evening?
What it do?
What's good, DJ Immortal, man? Daddy Rich Movie Automatic, man. We're tapping in.
And I gotta ask you guys, man, because you know what? We've been digging your music here in Canada, man. So I gotta ask you guys, how's everything out on the West Coast right now, man? Because I know we just got off a state of emergency lockdown here in Ontario, Canada. Like, what's the atmosphere like on the West Coast?
Yeah, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the Bay Area, it's kind of like the same thing. It's real strict. A lot of other places, it's not as strict, you know, around the country, but where I'm at in the Bay Area, yeah, it's definitely a lot of restrictions. So a few things just got lifted for us too. So it's been, you know, everyone wearing masks and outdoor seating, and they even stopped that for a while too. So it's, you know, it's people just trying to maintain, I guess.
Everybody walking around looking like Master Shredder.
You know what's really weird though, guys? Like, this is what I never understood, because about 2 years ago, if you were to walk into a grocery store or a convenience store wearing a mask, you would probably get shot by the person behind the counter. But now it's like you don't wear a mask, you could get shot. It's like it's kind of like, it's almost like the rules were reversed. It's kind of like we went through, you know, an alternate reality.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But I gotta ask you guys there, like, if you can, man, tell us a bit about yourselves, like, as artists. You know what I mean? Like, that way our listeners can get a grasp for who you guys are.
Go ahead, Hulu. Oh, see, that's how, you can tell we're a group. We already know. We already say the same thing already. You know what I'm saying? Well, basically, I'm Daddy Rich. You know, one half of Savage Life. We're both from the same city, from Hayward, California, in the Bay Area. He's from the South Side, and I'm from the West Side. I've been doing music since 1994. That's when I first started doing music, and I had a group in 1995 with Shane. He's the original member of Savage Life. At first, it was me and him before we met Hooley. We didn't meet Hooley till 1996, and then we all started doing music together. But at first, the original Savage Life was myself and Shane, and he had a studio and he was doing music. I met him in '94, and then we started doing music together. And then, like I said, we met up with Hooley, and then we just he was already doing music with another group and stuff, and we just all linked up, and we kind of all became a unit.
And I have to ask you as well, sorry about that there, Otto. One thing I was wondering, just one more quickly on the topic, like, what actually made, you know, like, the other individual leave the group, like, back in the 90s?
Well, it wasn't that he really wanted to leave the group. He was always, like, he was doing music before he met me. Like I said, he had the studio and everything, so I wasn't doing any music, but when we met up, that's when I started doing it. And so he just wanted to, he was always somebody that always wanted to do everything kind of on his own, you know what I mean? So it wasn't that he didn't want to leave the group. We just started another record company, and you know what I'm saying? And we got with Hooley, and we just did everything. It was still all in-house. We did all the production, all the writing of the songs, everything was still through us. It was kind of like he wanted to be three solo artists all on the group, on a label, you know what I'm saying?
And I gotta ask you there, Hooley, like, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially?
Well, it's been, man. I started way back as a toddler, man. I'm kind of a vet in the game. I hate to age myself, but I've been doing this like since '88, '89, and what really got me into it was hearing my first record. Man, back in the days when I used to go steal tapes, man. Like, we were bumping tapes before the CDs, man. Now we're up and streaming, but you know, I used to slap like all the old school stuff, Too Short, Spice One. A lot of people, you know, what really got me motivated was, you know, people in my neighborhood and around the Bay Area, you know what I'm saying, that were really starting to get noticed in the rap game. You know, this was like right after, I'd say like Run DMC and the Beastie Boys and LL Cool J was making their name on the East Coast, and then Dre and Snoop started popping off down in L.A., and then it hit home closer when Too Short and, you know, E40, Mac Dre, and everybody started creating a little buzz, man. It gave me a little more encouragement. And then I heard Spice One popping off, and I was like, hey, that's my neighborhood. So it's like, okay, well, if he can make it out the neighborhood tonight, then we can do it. And so, and I was encouraging a lot of my people around me, to get into the game. Man, a lot of people at that time, they didn't want to really get in the game. They didn't see what the game was worth. But I kept striving. I'm still striving. I never fell off the game. But a lot of the people that didn't want to get down when I was telling them, all of a sudden they all rap stars now.
That's normally how it goes, man. That's honestly normally how it goes.
People go with the trends, man, with the fads, once Master P showed people you could make $1 trillion rap, and then everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon,
And unfortunately, man, that's normally how it goes, man. And obviously, as we already know, like Daddy Rich, like you're actually the management for Be Legit. That's how we initially got connected. I was wondering, did Savage Life actually just come up with Be Legit, or did you guys just actually meet Be Legit just go this along? Like, sorry about that, like going down the line.
No, it's you know what I'm saying, Be Legit. Like we had already worked on the album, the Savage Life album, the Street Lyrics, Politics, and Bubbling, and we put Be Legit on that album, which we did in 2002. We recorded the song, and me and Be Legit and Hula, we got the same mutual friends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? The homeboy DJ Lark, who's Spice One's DJ. He's the one that hooked me up with Bila, but I had met Bila before that. Just around and stuff like that, and then we did the song, and then the song came out. When the album came out, the song it actually got on the radio out here in the Bay Area, and then I wound up linking up with B after that, a few years down the road, and it was just that's how that all kind of happened.
And I gotta say as well, is there any plans for Savage Life to actually do some work with Be Legit? Because so your guys' flow and your guys' style mixed with Be Legit's Bay Area like legendary sound, I think that right there it will be a hit that I think hip hop's truly not ready for.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing some more music with him. You know what I'm saying? That's a given right there.
And also going back to the year 1999, Interracial Nation Records actually was formed. I was wondering if you guys can tell us a bit more about the formation of that record label, because I gotta say, man, like just the name of that is actually such a powerful name.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and tell them who.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I grew up in South Hayward, man, and we're kind of like a little boy. Actually, the whole Hayward, man, it's pretty much a little ghetto, man, and but it's like a melting pot of a bunch of different nationalities, man, and so we grew up as hood brothers, that's what we call each other, man, because when you're growing up in poverty, bro, we kind of like we sleep at each other's house, and we eat out of each other's refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? When one person ain't got it, the next person got it, so it was like a brotherhood, and so that's where I came up with it. I was like, we're all kind of different nationalities, but we love each other. We see past all that garbage, and we're a unit. So, Interracial Nation pops off. That's what it is, man. It's brotherhood, bro. It's a brotherhood that sees past. Everybody want to be in a collective. Everybody want this and that. And that's all good too. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it kind of divides us, and I'm about unity. I've always been about unity from day one in hip hop. I wanted to I'm trying to get to the point where hip hop is all about unity, where we can just drop all the BS and just go, evolve hip hop into the next millennium.
And I gotta say, it's pretty justifiable as well, the story just behind that label and the name, man. Like, are you guys the only current members of that label, or do you guys have other people that are signed under you today?
Yeah, well, it just started with me, him, and Shane, and we put out a little EP called "Is It Real?" So basically, we started the label, and me and Shane felt the same way about what Huli had brought to us as far as the Interracial Nation, and we were feeling the vibe. We got shirts made up, and we're like, all right, let's start the movement. So we recorded an EP just to start getting the promo out there. It was called "Is It Real?" It was on cassette in 1999, and it was like 4 songs. It was we all 3 had a solo song, and then we had a group song with all 3 of us, and we just started pushing that out. We pressed it up to cassettes, and then that's how we and then starting the movement and T-shirts and just doing all the promo and stuff.
And then also in 2003, you guys actually released the debut album, Street Lyrics, Politics, and Bubblin'. I was wondering, what's the story behind that phenomenal record? And of course, where can our listeners actually snag themselves some copies today?
Yeah, that album is what was released in 2003. Features a lot of Bay Area artists on there, Spice One, Be Legit, a lot of LA artists, Daz from the Dog Pound, MC8. You know what I'm saying? We recorded that in 2003. Put it out in 2003, and like I said, we got a lot of good local love on the radio, and some radio out in LA also. And you could basically listen to it pretty much. This was before all of the internet streaming and all that stuff. So when it was in 2003, it was still like CD. You had to go and buy it, and just a copy of the CD. But now it's all the streaming and everything. So we had released it on the streaming platform in 2008 through a third party, and then we had actually took it off just recently so we can do this new project that we're working on, where we're re-releasing the old catalog and putting it just so that it goes straight through me and Hooli, and so we can get all the streams and the Spotify's and all that other stuff. So we're in the process right now of releasing a new project with some of the songs from the Savage Life album, and really just putting it through just me and him, so that we own all the rights to everything, and just doing it all on our own.
Cutting out the middleman.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that's the best way to do it as well, man. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, you have the technology just to do it yourself, man. You don't have to worry about record labels stealing your royalties, telling you how to dress. You guys can be you, do your own thing, and get paid 110%. So, in my personal opinion, the record labels did it to themselves, and that's karma, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They still find little ways to finagle people and try to block people out the way, so that their artists get the main line. But we do have a lot more avenues, and through internet, it's a lot more networking. So we just got to utilize it.
And also, Rich, another song that you actually did was actually featuring Spice One and G-Nut, and I had to bring this up because this is the one song that has actually been requested, like, I'm not even gonna lie, 60 times so far this month. Like, people are eating up this track. Like, and I gotta ask you, like, how did you actually initially get connected with Spice One and G-Nut?
Well, I grew up, I'm from the exact same neighborhood where Spice One is from, so I know him since like the early 80s, since I was a little kid. So, you know what I'm saying? But once I started doing music later on, he was already, going platinum and touring and everything, and he's a little bit older than me. He's about 6 years older than I am. So, but once, I started getting into the music a little bit later on, one of his group members, my boy Almond D from the 187 Fact, and that's with G-Nut and Dinfin and all those guys that created the 187 Fact, was Spice One's group. He connected me back with Spice, and we started doing music together, and then, like, that was almost 20 years ago, so we did a lot of songs with Spice One, throughout the years and stuff. So we've always recorded, me and Spice and Hooli too. So it's just, it was just another song that we did. And I did that like in I want to say 2009. My homeboy, Third Degree, he's a producer, and I had met him, and he was the one that had did the track, and we were working on a solo album for mine that didn't come out, that's about to come out soon in 2021. But what happened was I did a song with Spice and with G-Nut, and unfortunately G-Nut wound up passing away a few years ago. So it was the last song that G-Nut and Spice did together, because they were original group members from back in the day. Like Spice One's first album had G-Nut all over it, and all of his albums, and he was been Spice One's hype man for a long time, and he wound up passing away. So that song means a lot to me. So I'm glad people like it.
And I gotta ask you as well, like, because obviously near the end of the interview, we're going to be talking about your new project that you guys are actually planning on releasing in March 2021. And I have to ask, like, is Spice One going to be a part of this project?
Yeah, for sure. He'll be on there, yeah.
But also, another amazing record that you guys actually put out in 2008, well, sorry, was supposed to be an album, but it actually never came out. But the one thing I want to ask you was, what happened with that album, and do you guys have any plans of bringing that album out?
Yeah, that's pretty much, what wound up happening was back in around 2007 is when we started recording it. We got about like 6 or 7 songs done, and then like pieces of songs. And then Hooli wound up moving to LA. He went to Southern California, and then he moved, and we just never really got around to finishing it and doing it. And then years later, we're like, let's put these songs out, because we started listening to them, and with all this digital distribution, I was like, let's put out a collection album of things that we recorded that haven't been unreleased, but they're old music, and let's put this out. Let's put some of these songs out. So that's pretty much how that one went.
And also, bringing us to, March 2021, what can our listeners actually expect from this up-and-coming release, titled The Collection Series Volume 1?
Go ahead, Hooli.
Basically, it's a lot of timeless music on there that we put together. Me and Rich was just going through all the stuff, man. I was like, man, we got a lot of stuff that we didn't release that nobody's even heard, or that's rebooted with new mixes and new masters and sounding real fresh like. So we got some great music that's coming out that's timeless. And if you were a Sav Life fan back in the day, you're gonna love what's coming out. And if you're a new person just getting on the scene, it's gonna be like something. It sticks to the West Coast code. You know what I'm saying? Like but it has that new flavor to it. So it's not it's not 100% all auto tuned out and squiggly wiggly like the newest stuff, but you know what I'm saying, what these cats are putting out now. But it's some real music. It's that real official West Coast music, and that's what we do. We keep doing it. We're going to keep with that formula, you know what I'm saying, and add a little twist in there with new little things here and there. But it's always going to be us, and it's going to be some good listening. So definitely tune into it.
Yeah, what we wanted to do with this collection series is exactly what he said. If you already knew who Savage Life was and you dig our music, you're definitely going to hear some new stuff that's on there. And what we wanted to do, if you've never heard our music before, we're going to, drop about 45, 50 songs on you, and so you can kind of see, where we come from and how we started our music careers, and then you get to kind of see. So that if you become a fan now, then all this newer stuff we're going to be doing, then hopefully you'll check out the newer stuff, that we're going to start recording in, this year. So it's kind of just going down memory lane. If you've never heard of us, you're about to hear, you know what I'm saying, you can check out the songs, and if you like it, and like I said, if we were already a Savage Life fan, which we do got a lot of fans, especially overseas and, the West Coast and all over, we always get, fan mail and everything, emails or whatever. So, I mean, so if you're familiar with these songs, then, you're going to like the collection series, and then hearing them all just differently, spread out. Each volume probably has 10 or more songs on it, and it's just going to be, some stuff you've never heard before, some stuff you might have heard before, and then, it's just, going out there to get new fans.
And I gotta say as well, guys, it sounds like it's going to be some real rugged, raw Bay Area hip-hop, man, and that's right up our alleys, man. That's honestly, we love real hip-hop down here in Canada, man. We're not really huge fans of the whole mumble rap era, so it's good that we're going to be getting some fresh, unreleased Savage Life, man. It's going to be refreshing for hip-hop, I'm going to tell you that for a fact.
Most definitely, man. That's what we try to do, man. Try to keep it real consistent, you know what I'm saying? All the music, we don't ever put out anything that's whack. We make sure we take time with everything, and everything is calculated, and we don't just want to just throw something out there. We don't want to disappoint any of our fans, and anything we've ever really put out has really been consistent. If anything that they say about Savage Life is we're consistently good. There's no hate or nothing like that. There's no negativity about our music. I'm sure there's probably people that might not like our music, but for the most part, all we get is we get a lot of good
most definitely agree. Quality over quantity is the best route to go, especially in the music industry.
Yeah, that's how people fall off. People don't take it seriously, and they start half-assing their projects and stuff like that. And that'll never happen with a Savage Life release. It'll always be 100% put into it, and it'll always be that real stuff.
But I gotta ask you guys, other than March 2021, you guys are releasing like you already mentioned the collection series Volume 1. Like, what is next for you guys? Is there anything I missed? Anything else you guys still want to talk about or promote while we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Julian.
Yeah, I got some solo projects. I got an album. Where I got Julie's Playhouse. This is all under Juliado. Who was he? Westwood. Julie Westwood is another album. I got an album with Spice One called The Itty Bitty City. That's out right now. Only the Real Can Feel, and it's all under Juliado, and those are all the new albums. And then I'm working on an EP that's supposed to be it's going to be brand new. That should be dropping hopefully sometime this year, if not very early next year, along with all the Savage Life goodies.
Yeah, that's what's up. And basically, I'll be releasing an album that I worked on with a producer I mentioned before. His name's Third Degree. He produced. We did a full album. And he's a sample producer. So basically, we did almost a full album together, and it was mostly samples. And we recorded it in probably between 2009 and 2012. And like I said, he's the one that did the Spice One and G-Nut song. But he had a change of heart and wants to do all original music, so we never put the album out. He didn't want to go for any copyright infringements or anything for the sampled work that we did. So what we're doing is we're remixing them with all original beats and then putting that out. So it'll be more kind of older music, but coming out, with fresher beats and all original stuff. And Julio will be on that too. And then we're going to do, so everything, the whole album is going to be, all new beats, new production and everything. So none of it has ever been released except for the Spice One song. That's the only one that's been released, which will also be on a big compilation that's coming out. My buddy C4, he's putting a compilation out with like a double compilation he's been working on for many years. So it's on that compilation. And then also we have a new Savage Life EP we're going to work on. And then compilations. I want to get into doing some compilations, a series of compilations. We mess with all kinds of artists. All the Bay Area artists, we know all of them, and even outside of the Bay, just tons of artists, people that we want to work with. So we're definitely just going to keep doing music, just start putting out a lot of projects in the next, couple of years. Just trying to push just flood the market a little bit, and just.
I think it's time to that we step out and start doing a lot more collaborations with a lot of artists, man. People that we find that have talent that we want to put on that can use our platform.
Exactly.
It's about the network.
Yeah, you got to pay it forward, man. You know what I'm saying? They support you, and if they support you, then you got to looking for younger artists. Whoever wants to get in the industry and like I want to do, like I said, a series of compilations, with the OG artists from all over the West Coast, mixed in with some of the new artists, just a whole vibe of just good music and putting it out there. Compilations kind of had kind of died out, and so kind of maybe bring it back a little bit. The Bay Area used to have like the greatest compilations back in the day. They had all the great compilations, even when Master P had the West Coast Bad Boys, he did that out here in the Bay Area. And D-Shot from the Click did Boss Baller.
Herm Lewis, remember
Herm Lewis? Yeah, Herm Lewis and Too Short and all the, the Cell Block compilations and all that stuff. So, compilations are huge in the Bay Area. So we want to try and maybe bring them back.
And I gotta say, it actually sounds like 2021 is the year of Savage Life, man. And when you guys said you want to do a lot more collaborations, I don't want to ask relatively any generic questions, but I'm really curious. What artists do you guys actually have in mind that you actually want to reach out to? Of course, nothing's guaranteed until the paperwork's all set up and whatnot, but who do you guys have in mind that you really want to reach out to and see if you can actually do some collaborations with?
Oh, well, I've been working with a lot of artists lately, just doing some behind the scenes music stuff. So I'll hopefully get some stuff done with Drew Down and Keep the Sneak. San Quinn, we've collaborated with San Quinn before, so I'll always probably work with him. We got a good relationship with Quinn, and just, a lot of the Bay Area artists, even, we pretty much work with every Bay Area artist already, so maybe, and some of the LA artists too. So, I definitely, want to, just branch out and maybe get some down south artists and just really whoever, man, whoever wants to work with us, we're ready to work. And we got a line on a lot of people, so we'll definitely make some phone calls, and a lot of these collaborations should happen for sure.
But I gotta ask, guys, so this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individuals that slide into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, and of course your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow Savage Life and both members individually if they're not already doing so.
Go ahead, Louis.
I just want to thank all of our fans, man, and everybody's been, sticking in with us. We've been through some ups and downs, man, some drought seasons, but we got that dope back on supply, so don't even trip. We're going to bring it out, you know what I'm saying? So everybody out in the stack, man, I love y'all. All my peeps out here in Vegas, all my peeps down in L.A., just the whole West Coast, man, we bubbling. Oregon, Seattle, and even my folks in Canada. I got some folks on the west side of Canada, my boy Warren. I want to give a shout-out to just everybody who's helped me through the game, man. Daddy Rich, Jay Stratus, Shane, Hellwig, everybody who's just been down since day one, 10 toes deep. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I just want to, thank, Hayward, California, man. That's where we, born and raised, man. So, that's where, that's home. So, the whole home team. So, shout out to everybody on the stack that's been supporting, you know what I'm saying? We call it the haystack, you know what I'm saying? That's an old term that Spice One and them came up with, and it's like that's what everybody calls it today. So definitely give a shout out to the stack, and you know what I'm saying? Just be ready and be on the lookout, man. And thank you, Canada. Thank you, Outlaw Radio, man. For real, DJ Immortal for having us, man. Like, it's a blessing, man. Just to, right when we get back into the game, we're already getting on the radio, so that's love, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I gotta say thank you guys for giving myself and our listeners your time this evening, man. You know what I mean? Daddy Rich, we actually got connected. I didn't even know you were an artist when we first got connected, but when you first sent me your music, like your guys' music, I was like, oh, this is gold. Like, you know what I mean? Once you sent it, it went directly into the station's airwaves.
Yeah, right on, man. That's what's up.
Much love, much love.
But I gotta say to both of you guys, man, have yourselves a wonderful night, and most definitely stay safe out there on the West Coast, man. Hopefully down the line, out in March, when your unreleased record drops, we can actually chop it back up and get you guys back on.
Yeah, man, let's do that, man. We'd like a whole bunch of music has been coming, man, so we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop, man, over there in Canada, for sure.
Most definitely, guys. Thank you so much to both of you guys, and most definitely have yourselves a wonderful night.